Hey there nation, welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Cheapskate, and we are back with another episode of the Quarantine Chronicles. There's a series of Kill Team Battle Reports, which is a solo campaign that's basically just me playing against myself for the most part. The reason why that is the case is because the COVID-19 pandemic, trying to practice safe habits, stay at home, that kind of thing. Want to make sure that my friends stay healthy and their family stay safe, so in order to make this content, just kind of playing against myself the entire time, which has been kind of challenging, but at the same time kind of interesting as well. So in this episode, the Kha'Sherhan of the Thousand Suns go up against the Cradle of Filth, which is a Death Guard kill team in an Assassinate Mission. So that being said, we're going to play some background music real quick. If you want to see exactly what I'm taking for both of these kill teams, go ahead and take a pause and take a look at your own leisure. So that being said, let's get this battle report on a roll.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dying times here.
Alright, so the mission for this one is Assassinate. Pretty much the goal here is that the Kha'Sherhan of the Thousand Suns are going to try to assassinate Kha'Sherhan the Bellman, which is the tallyman commander of the Death Guard, which is the Cradle of Filth, which is located on the left-hand side. And that's pretty much the mission that's going on for this one. So the Kha'Sherhan have their work cut out for them because, as you can see, the Death Guard are pretty much taking a layered phalanx type formation, 3 lines of fighters to protect their commander from all harm, which would be kind of interesting exactly to see how the Kha'Sherhan tries to, crack that phalanx. Death Guard are extremely tough with high toughness, high armor saves. They also got a 5 invulnerable save for disgustingly resilient for most of them. Very resilient group of guys. They pack a lot of punch as well, so the Kha'Sherhan has their work cut out for them trying to assassinate Kha'Sherhan the Bellman. So with the mission briefing over with, let's go and talk about deployment real quick. So starting on the left-hand side of the battlefield, we have the Cradle of Filth, which is the Death Guard. As you can see, I decided to put these guys up in type of a phalanx type defensive formation. The entire objective is for the Kha'Sherhan to try to kill Kha'Sherhan the Bellman. So the way I see it, the best way to play is to play defensively. And what better way to defend your commander than with a multi-layered defensive line protecting him. So as you can see up in the front, I got Poxwalkers up front, followed by Plague Bearers next, second layer, and the final third layer is a layer of Plague Marines are just completely surrounding their commander. And then Kha'Sherhan the Bellman is also right behind that piece of cover there, so that way he cannot be shot at. So this is what I'm kind of running for this. I'm not sure how well it's going to work out, but it looks pretty impenetrable. I got my flanks covered, I got my front covered, they can't slip in from behind me, so I'm really looking forward to see exactly how this little phalanx defensive position stands for the Death Guard. Actually, when I used to play Warhammer 40,000, I used to make battle reports with that. I used to play the Death Guard for those series, and this is how I used to run up my basically my offense. I would just make a line of Poxwalkers followed by Plague Bearers, followed by Plague Marines, and then advance forward and just kind of crush everything in my way. So hopefully this will work for this scenario as well. Alright, so we jump across the other side of the table to the Kha'Sherhan. So this is the deployment for the Thousand Suns. Right on the bottom of the table, we have a 4-man unit of horrors. Up on the top, we got, what's his name? Phosis of Vile Deaths. He's an iridescent horror with coruscating flames. He's also a psyker. Right next to him is Bastek Spiderflux is his name. He's a horror hornblower. He's got coruscating flames as well as instrument as niche. He's also a communication specialist. Right beneath him is Fail Craze Beetle, which is a horror icon bearer with coruscating flame as well as icon as niche. He's also a psyker as well. And then finally on the bottom there we have the Hate Wind, which is another pink horror with coruscating flames. He's a fire team member, but he's also got the psyker special rules. And in the middle of the Kha'Sherhan's deployment, we have 4,000 Sun Space Marines. Up on the very top there, that is Ron. He is a Rurik Marine fire team member with an Inferno bolt gun. He's also packing the Icon of Flame. Next to him on the left-hand side is Emonhep of the Light. He is a Rubric Marine gunner with a Soul Reaper cannon, Icon of Flame. He's also the Heavy Specialist. Right beneath him is Khalasar on Fire, which is another Rubric Marine who's equipped with a Warp Flamer as well as Icon of Flame. He's also a fire team member. And then right beneath him is Sekenre the Illuminator, who is an aspiring sorcerer. He's armed with a Warp Flame pistol. He's got a Force Staff. He's also a Psyker. He's also got the Leader Specialism as well. And that pretty much makes up the center deployment for the Kha'Sherhan. And finally, on the very top of the deployment area for the Thousand Suns, we have the little 4-man unit of Zangor, as well as their commander as well. At the very top, we have Heket, who is a Zangor armed with an auto pistol as well as a chainsword. And right next to him is Petra, who is another Zangor armed with an auto pistol as well as a chainsword as well. And then right there, kind of like in the middle there, that is Anku. He is a twist bray. He's got Zangor blades. He's also the unit's combat specialist. And then right up in the bottom there, we have Tahor, the Herald of Ruin, which is another Zangor armed with an auto pistol as well as a chainsword. He's also carrying a bray horn. And then right behind them is the commander of the Kha'Sherhan. His name is Skeksis of Dark Crystals. He is a Zangor shaman. He's got Force Stave as well as riding a disc of Zneach. He's also got the Psyker. He's also got the Psychic Specialist as well, with a student of the Arcane. And that pretty much makes the deployment for the Kha'Sherhan on this one. So with deployment over with, we go directly to the top of turn number 1, and both the Thousand Suns as well as the Death Guard roll off for initiative to see who goes first. Alright, so that takes us directly to the top of turn number 1 for the Thousand Suns to get the initiative on this one, and this photo is taken after the movement phase. And as you can see in this photo, pretty much all the movement is taking place along the flanks of the battlefield as the Thousand Suns try to cross the battlefield in order to engage the Death Guard. First of all, up on the top, all 4 of those Zangors, they basically just advance forward, adding d6 to the rolls. The Bray Horn really helped them to cross a lot of distance really quickly. A lot of these guys actually rolled a 12s and 11s for their rolls, so that's why 3 of them are on the top of that little tavern there, while the other one rolled a 9. That's why he's on the base right there on the bottom of it. At the same time, I also activated the Skeksis Dark Crystal. He just flew across the battlefield onto the top of the tavern as well, so that way he's within range to use his psychic abilities. Now, as for the top there, as you can see, both Ron as well as Emonhep of the Light, those are the 2 Rubric Marines. I just kind of kept them right there where they're located at and put ready markers on them, so that way they can shoot first during the shooting phase. Meanwhile, on the bottom of the Kha'Sherhan, as you can see there, the 4 pink horrors, they move up their normal allowance, so that way they can fire their coruscating flames directly into the main fire line. And then right behind them is also Kalazar on fire, as well as Sikhenre the Illuminator. They're also lending some support as well. It should be noted that those pink horrors, as well as the Sorcerer, are in perfect range for them to launch their Psybolts, which is very, very important. Now, as for the Death Guard, however, they stay exactly where they're located at. There is no need for them to move because they're kind of taking up a defensive position around that structure and defending their commander as well. And that pretty much makes the move phase for this one. So here's a close-up of Phosis of Vile Deaths, Bastek, Spider Flux, Fail, Craze Beetle, as well as the Hate Wind moving up forward to open up with their coruscating flames. The nice thing about these 4 pink horrors is that they also have psychic abilities, so they can also fire a Psybolt directly into the main line as well, making them very, very deadly. Basically giving 2 turns of shooting, except that the first turn is nothing but mortal wound, which is kind of nice. At the same time, I also moved the Kalazar on fire, as well as Sikhenre the Illuminator for obvious reasons. Sikhenre is going to use his Psybolt in order to cause more damage, and Kalazar, course, is there in order to lend support, so that way he can close a distance and open up with his flamer. And that pretty much makes the move here on the bottom of the board. And here's a close-up of the Kha'Sherhan's middle. As you can see, Emonhep of the Light as well as Ron, they're basically just standing their ground with ready markers, so that way they'll be able to shoot first during the shooting phase. So that way they can just kind of take aim and open up their weapons and shoot long range directly into the Death Guard's defensive lines. And here's a close-up of the Zangors on the top of the tavern there. As you can see, 3 of them made it to the roof of the tavern, while the other one, which is Tahor, the Herald of Ruin, is right behind it. And then leading in the front there is Skeksis of Dark Crystal riding around on his disc as Zneach. And finally, here's a close-up of the Death Guard of the Cradle of Filth, just standing their ground for the most part, just kind of standing defensively. Basically, all the Plague Marine characters that have guns, they have ready markers next to them, so that way they can open up after the first salvo of the shooting phase as well. And that pretty much makes it the move phase. So with the move phase over with, you go directly to the second phase for the Thousand Suns. And during the second phase, as you can see, quite a few casualties end up happening here on the bottom of the table. First of all, 2 members of the Plague Bearers. First of all, the leader there, Urg the Pestilent, he basically goes down. Same thing with Boiling Ruin, he also goes down too with mortal wounds after being hit with Psybolts. They both go out of action. At the same time, 2 members of the Poxwalkers, that's Briggs as well as Darrows, they both go down as well after taking psychic bolts from the pink horrors as well as from Sikhenre the Illuminator. So right off the bat, the first kind of 2 layers of defense are slowly going away with Psybolts being thrown their way. So maybe keeping the Death Guard, out in the open might not be the best use of their formation. Alright, so as you can see, there's a close-up of the Kha'Sherhan's line, and the reason why is because two of these guys did fail their Peril of the Warps test. They both rolled double sixes in order to make them launch their side bolts. Because of that, fail Craze Beetle, which is the horror icon bearer, takes a flesh wound for his trouble, while Kenry the Illuminator goes down because of his. He actually goes out of action. Now, I will admit this, I did make a mistake when it came to the Perils of the Warp test. That's because if anybody gets killed after taking the Peril of the Warps test, everybody within 3 inches of them also has to take a mortal wound as well, and I forgot to do that part. I just neglected. I just thought it was just the individual sucker who actually took the wound. It wasn't until after the battle report that I read up on it, I was like, oh, I made a mistake on that part. So because of that, I did make a mistake on that part. But yeah, that's what happened over here on the bottom of the Kha'Sherhan's line. Meanwhile, over here on the top, two things end up happening. First of all, the Zangor Shaman, Skex's Dark Crystal launches a side bolt directly against Bubo the Rancid, which is one of the Plague Marines, and actually puts 2 mortal wounds on that guy, puts him directly out of action. So because of that, he goes out. Rolled a perfect 11 for Skex's Dark Crystals on that one, so that one was really cool. And then secondly, he rolled another psychic ability, which was Treason of Zneach. And Treason of Zneach basically does it picks a character within the rival kill team, and that character is now under your possession, and you can use him during the shooting phase as well as the fighting phase. And to make things really, really bad, he actually managed to possess Glotch. Not Glotch, Global Glory. Sorry, that's the wrong guy. Golcor, there we go. Golcor Muttermold, which is one of the Plague Marines armed with a plasma gun. That's the guy ends up getting possessed with Treason of Zneach, and he's able to use that guy in the shooting phase. To make things even worse for the Death Guard, if you'll notice, right next to Golcor is a window that looks directly at Festimus the Bellman. So basically, in the shooting phase, all Golcor has to do is basically take aim with his plasma gun right through that window and cause all kinds of problems for Festimus the Bellman. So with the psychic phase over with, we go directly to the shooting phase. As you can see in this photo, 2 Poxwalkers get taken out of action. Both Threx the Reeking as well as Gallows both go down and out of action, being shot up by Amonhotep of the Light as well as Ron. I believe Ron took out Thrax the Reeking, which is the Zealot specialist, while Gallows was taken out by Amonhotep of the Light. And that's pretty much. And I might also just put a flesh wound directly down the Piper there, which is Glouch Gibblegory. That's the Plague Bearer with the Hornblower there with the pipes. He also takes a flesh wound for his troubles as well. At the same time, Shirlo the Riven as well as Gerlach Muttermold open up with their Blight Launcher as well as Plasma Gun respectively, manage to take out those 2 pink horrors as well. So because of that, Pistak Spiderflux, the Hornblower, he goes directly out of action as well. Same thing with Voices of Vile Deaths. Now if you're wondering why these pink horrors haven't been replaced with 2 blue horrors, the reason why is because there is no need to, because in the next part of the shooting phase kind of illustrates why we didn't replace those guys. And as you can see, Festimus the Bellman is dead. And the reason why is because Golcor turned in order to shoot the window directly at his commander. Since he was under the possession of the Kha'Sherhan, I decided to actually have Golcor open up with supercharged loads on his plasma gun, because if he happens to die, then so be it. He's under possession. He's not one of the Kha'Sherhan's fighters. To make matters worse, because the plasma gun is a rapid fire weapon and he's in within close range, he gets to shoot twice. He hit the Festimus the Bellman twice, wounded him twice, put both sets of wounds on him, and managed to eat up all the Tallyman's injuries. And so because of that, just like that, Festimus the Bellman goes crashing face down into the dirt, being shot to death by supercharged plasma rounds from his own team member. Beware the treason of Zneach. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that takes us directly to the end of the game. And the reason why is because the Assassination Mission has been achieved. The Tallyman Festimus the Bellman is dead within the first turn of the battle report because of sneaky, cunning, tricksy type of psychic abilities being used by the Thousand Sons, which is very much a very Sneach thing to use, to use the cunning like that to go around the flank and to also turn one of his own men against him, which is all kinds of crazy. So this one's a pretty short one, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologize for that one, but that's exactly how the game was played. And with that, we go to the after action report because this battle report is now officially over. Alright folks, now it's time for the after action report. This is the part of the battle report we're talking about what went well, what went poorly, and what we can learn for the next time that we do battle. This is the after action report for the Quarantine Chronicles battle report number 5, Assassinate Mission, and this one ended up being a victory for the Thousand Sons. And the reason why is because this one ended up being a huge upset victory for the very first turn of the game. Originally, I thought this was going to be a painful grind, to be honest, for the Thousand Sons. And just having to go mow down, go through Poxwalkers and Plague Bearers like it's nobody's business, just to go into the core. Plague Marines Marines and hopefully crack the Plague Marines and get to the leader. I thought this whole phalanx defense thing was actually going to be just a grind fest for the Thousand Sons. I had no clue whatsoever that in the end it was going to be treachery and cunning that managed to pull off the victory in the very first round for the Thousand Sons. And just like a note, whenever you're facing against Thousand Sun kill teams in an Assassinate mission, never place your commander next to a shooting character, because this kind of thing could happen to you if you're not very careful, which is a very niche-like thing to do, using trickery and backstabbing to get things done. Obviously was not the case, so because of that, I gotta worry about those guys as well. Thousand Suns during the psychic phase are not a joke whatsoever. They're extremely powerful. Now, granted, I know that Plink Hordes can't be taken with a Thousand Suns kill team, but in this campaign they're allowed to, and it's just insane to see the amount of things that are going on with things being thrown at them in terms of Cybolts and stuff. Also, it's also insane seeing how Goldcore Motor Mold fired 2 shots of supercharged plasma at Festimus the Bellman. I decided to kind of go with that route just because if I did roll a 1 for Goldcore, oh well, no harm, no foul. It's not one of the Thousand Suns members' kill team. It was just some poor dude who just got taken over mentally for a little while. So that pretty much kind of rounds it up for this one. For this one, here's our current record for both kill teams and our final round of our little solo game campaign. The Kha'Sherhan of the Thousand Suns are right now in the lead with 3 wins as well as 0 losses, while the Cradle Filth are kind of like in the middle with 1 win as well as 2 losses as well. So that's going to do it for this week, guys. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. You guys' input is always appreciated. Also, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, as well as blogger.com for all the latest great hobby news on this channel. That's going to do it for this one, you guys. You guys stay safe out there, stay healthy. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.